may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, I thought that this was going to be one of the most useful videos that I could make. And here I'm going to be talking about the top offenses that you should be targeting for your fantasy basketball drafts. Obviously, I'm not saying get any player from these teams. I'm saying make sure you're getting guys that are going to be able to have a good usage rate. Make sure you're getting guys that are going to be playing a significant amount of minutes. But yeah, but regardless, before we get into the video, please make sure y'all go down there, drop that like, leave that comment, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And yeah, that's it. Let's get into it and let's talk about the most important thing for fantasy basketball leagues. And this is going to be offensive pace. Okay, so looking at the amount of possessions that an offense is going to have during a single game is going to be so important because this is a game where we are trying to make sure we maximize our potential of getting assists, points, rebounds, and everything in between. And that is going to be done by the possessions going up. Because if you have a player on a team that may have a little bit of a lower usage rate than another team, but just say that the player that you're looking at is going to have 15 more possessions in his offense than player B, really, that's a spot where you may be able to get some value. You may be able to get someone that has a little bit of a lower usage rate if they're playing on an offense that should see more possessions per minute. I think that that is a way that you can get an advantage over your league mates. And if we go through and look at the top 10 teams in in pace this past season, we are looking at the Milwaukee Bucks. We are looking at the Houston Rockets. But here with the Rockets, I don't know if we can project that same thing in 2020 because they obviously are moving on from Mike D'Antoni. Obviously, Mike D'Antoni is one of the more creative basketball minds in the entire NBA. So here, it's going to be intriguing to see how the Houston Rockets decide to construct this offense. Personally, I don't know what to expect. But I think based on the fact that they are possibly moving on from James Harden as well as Russell Westbrook, this is not an offense that's going to be anywhere close to the amount of possessions that they saw in 2019, in 2020. All right, so our next team, our team number 3 in pace in 2020 was the New Orleans Pelicans. But the problem here is we know with the Pelicans, they are also having a coaching change to Van Gundy, and Van Gundy has been known throughout his entire career to really drive down the pace of the offense that he's coaching, something that we are not wanting to see for this Pelicans offense, which was extremely intriguing a year ago. I don't know how the personnel is going to fit in a lower pace. I mean, personally, I think with Zion, with the other young talented pieces that you would have with Lonzo Ball, you want that fast-paced offense, but clearly Mike Van Gundy is a much better coach than I am. And now our next team is the Minnesota Timberwolves at number 4. And here with the Timberwolves, I think that really there's not going to be that much to change. I think they're going to continue to be near the top of the NBA in terms of the possessions that they're seeing in games. Now, our team afterwards is the Atlanta Hawks. Now, here with the Hawks, this is awesome. I mean, I am so excited about the Hawks offense for a multitude of reasons, but we'll get that later in the video. And now our next team is going to be the Memphis Grizzlies. The team afterwards is going to be the Washington Wizards. The Wizards are also a very intriguing team due to the fact that they have some of the worst defense in the entire NBA. And we know that with Russell Westbrook, this should be an offense that is picking up that pace, that is maintaining near the top of the NBA in terms of the possessions that they are seeing per game. Next, we have the Los Angeles Clippers, but here we really don't know what to expect because they are moving on from Doc Rivers to Tyronn Lue. Then we have the Nets, who are moving to Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni. And I honestly think that with Kyrie, with Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni, that this offense is going to be incredibly high-paced and one of my premium targets this season. Then we have the Phoenix Suns. So if we just take a step back, if we are trying to identify offenses that I think that we are going to be very excited about, the teams that pop off the page are going to be the Milwaukee Bucks, the Washington Wizards, the Nets. Also, a team that did not make the list, but I think that could be a little bit intriguing based on their offensive players changing around, would be the Golden State Warriors. But another team, a team that I think that so many people are undervaluing this season, are the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons have some of the worst defense you're going to find in the entire NBA. They are incredibly fast-paced, and they have new weapons throughout the entire offense to maintain that court spacing. With Trae Young, we know that he's pretty much one of the most dynamic point guards in the NBA in creating the space on the floor. So there are so many reasons to be excited about those offenses. Before we end the video, though, let me say one more thing that we're going to be looking at, which is going to be so important in fantasy basketball, and that is going to be offenses that have small rotations. I mean, if you're going to be able to see a team that is going to roll out 9 men every single night, and those minutes are kind of crunched up between those players compared to a team that has 12 guys out there on the court every single game, that is also going to be an ideal scenario. Just say you have an offense that's getting about 108 possessions per game compared to an offense that's seeing 99 possessions per game. We could see the offense that's a little bit lower paced be more valuable if we are seeing those possessions divided up by less players. So obviously there are a million variables that you're having to take account for. That's why this game is so complicated. That's why there's so much strategy behind it. But that's one small tip on how we can go out there and target specific offenses is going to be the pace of play. Now let me know if y'all want me to make another video centered around the small rotation teams that I think would make sense in our fantasy drafts, or whatever else y'all want. Please let me know in the YouTube comment section. That comment section is so valuable for y'all to let me know what videos to put on this channel. All right, now thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. As always, go down there, drop that like, subscribe to the channel, leave that comment, and I'll see y'all with the video tomorrow.